Hey guys, Jacob here at ePoolSupply. Today, we're going to clean a cartridge filter. Full size, 4-filter cartridge filter. Stay tuned. We're going to dive right in. All right guys, now we're back. So the very first thing you want to do when you start cleaning a pool filter is turn the power off to the pumps. You do not want an accident to happen where these pumps turn on, flood you out, and a lot of bad things can happen. So it's always smart to come over to your panel. I like to turn off the breakers. To me, it's the most safest way to do this, to where once you turn them all off, you'll hear the pumps actually die down. All right, so now that the breakers are all turned off, we can head back over to the pool equipment or the filter over here, and we can actually start ripping the whole thing apart, and we will start cleaning it. And I'm gonna show you guys how to clean this pool filter. All right, now that we cut the breakers off, we're back here at the filter, and my friends over at Pentair are gonna make me to tell you the very first thing you need to do is relieve the pressure out of your air release valve here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn the top thing here, and it's gonna let all the air inside. So again, this video will work for pretty much any of the major manufacturers' filters. So this is a Pentair 620XF full flow. It's a big filter. But there's Hayward, Pentair, Jandy, Waterway. There's a bunch out there. Anything that has this big clamp style, there's 4 cartridges inside. This video will work for you. And they all have a different style air release valve. So all you want to do is when you kill the breakers, turn this open, and it's going to let air inside the system to depressurize everything. If for some reason I open this up and water flies out of here, that's either A, you still have a pump running, or B, your equipment is usually below the pool. So there might be some valves that have to get turned. Every system is different. So if you need help, consult a pool professional on how to do it. But first thing first, I'm going to open up this valve. So now you can hear all the air going into the system. And now that that's happening, what I want to do is I want to hop down here to the drain on the bottom of this filter. And then that's also going to let all that gunk and water kind of empty out from the cartridge below here. So I'm going to hop down here. The nice part of this XF filter, there's a drain on both sides. Every filter is different. So I believe Hayward has their plug in the back. Jandy has theirs on one side, which I believe is this right side over here. Pentair's normal Clean and Clear Plus filters have it in the front bottom, but they're all a little different. So this one is on the side, makes it very convenient. So I'm going to hop down there and I'm going to show you how to just undo that real quick. And you're going to see water go everywhere. So I'm going to turn it. You're going to see it already starting to spill out. Everything in the pool industry is usually hand tight on stuff like this, so it should be easy to get off. So you can see it's about to explode on me. There it is. So you hear the air go a little more aggressive. You'll see a bunch of dirt and sand and all kinds of goodness come out of there. And then when that stops is when I'm going to come back here and I'm going to loosen up this tank right here. All right, now that we've slowed down, I'm going to hop back up here. So Pentair, I believe, let's see what size this is. This is a 7/8 socket. You guys can use a hand socket, a wrench. I like to use an impact gun. It makes it go way faster. This was a variable one, so we turn it down just a touch. So all I'm gonna do is pop this thing on here, make sure I put on loose. And you see, it just loosens it up. I'm gonna get it probably 90% to do the rest of it again. Just so it doesn't fly on the ground. Come on. All right, so now that I got that off, I'm gonna put this off to the side. And now I can take my tank off. Take the clamp off. All right, so now that that's off, so actually it's kind of cool. It's my first time seeing the 620XF. They reinforced it around here on the fiberglass. So it looks like that's gonna withstand a lot more abuse with the elements, which is kind of nice. So all these are always made out of fiberglass, so time will kill these things, but this one looks like it's going to be pretty beefy. So this thing has nice handles. You can try to lift it off with the handles, but I like to give it a good umph, and it'll actually separate it from the O-ring. So watch, if I go like this, see how it pops it right off the O-ring? Perfect. So it pops it right off. So now I can actually lift this tank up, get it over here. I have a really strange feeling these cartridges are going to be terrible. So they should be white when they're clean and brownish when they're dirty. This particular pool has had a lot of phosphate remover over this last summer, so I'm sure that it's just gunked. So let's take a look. That's actually not that bad. So go ahead and put that tank off to the side. This is your top manifold with an air bleeder screen. This also needs to get cleaned. Everything in here needs to get cleaned out one way or another. You want this thing to be sparkling clean, no dirt inside. So these cartridges are actually very dirty. Pentair has purchased a company called Pleco, which is one of the largest filter manufacturing companies in the world. So everybody's used to the old Pentair filter saying Pentair on the top. I believe they're getting away from that. You might get them to say Pleco, you might get them to say nothing, you might get them to say Pentair still. So they're kind of in a weird transitional period right now. It's 2024 if you're watching this video. So yeah, so spring, this is what prevents the lid from slamming on there. Put that off to the side. Now I'm gonna take my manifold off. It literally says lift here. So this one, that's not that bad. So as you can see, dirty, dirt. We're gonna end up washing this over there where we're gonna clean our cartridges out. And now I'm gonna take all 4 of these cartridges out so you can see what it looks like inside of there. It's off to the side. So now my cartridges come out and these are huge. So just be careful if you have a bad back, just maybe ask for help. But these will clean off pretty good, I have a feeling. Yeah, so you can see all that's dog hair. So this is actually from my personal pool. And I got a nice yellow lab. Her name's Mila. So this is the nature of the beast when you have a dog. So this, yep. Right. Oh, all right. So what we're going to do now. So we'll show you what a picture of this looks like down here as well. It's pretty gross. It's coated in dog hair. But on the way back, after I'm on the cartridges, before I take everything back here, I'm going to take my hose and you'll see me wash this thing out so everything comes out of that side drain. So that way we start with a fresh surface everywhere. You want this thing clean. The cleaner this is when you start back up, the better pressure you're going to get, the better flow you're going to get, the better your pool is going to be overall in general. So this O-ring right here on the outside, this thing does come off and it has to be lubed. So to remind myself, I put it right there just like that. So that way you can't put everything back together until that thing's lubed. So we're going to walk these cartridges over to the side yard and clean them all off, which will more than likely be in fast forward for you guys. So that way you're not watching me for an hour clean these things. So let's get rolling. All right, so we are back. I got all my cartridges lined up. I got a nozzle for my hose, my garden hose. Usually your hose pressure is good enough. Some people like to use pressure washers. The manufacturers tell you stay away from pressure washers because they say that the high pressure will actually ruin the paper of the filters. Do what you think is best, but I'm just using a regular garden hose and I just got an attachment on here. Again, whatever you think works the best for you nozzle wise. I mean, this thing's like one of those universal ones where you can change it to whatever you want to change it to. And we're just going to go from here. And all you're going to do is turn it on, start from the top, work your way down, turn it, start from the top, work your way down. So let's get after it. It's going to be a little bit, but that's why we have fast forwarding, guys. So we are clean. We have nice clean cartridges. We're going to walk these back over. But first, I'm going to walk this garden hose back over and I'm going to actually clean out that tank, clean out the O-ring, put the O-ring back on. And then I'll bring the cartridges over, set everything up, pressurize the system, get it rock and rolling. So let's roll. All right, guys, we're going to spray out the inside of the tank. As you can see, the inside of the tank is disgusting. Dog hair, Pebble Tech from the pool got Pebble. This is a new Pebble pool. So yeah, spray it out. All right, cool guys. We are cleaned the tank. Let me see if I can clean out the outside with the O-ring is gonna go a little bit. There we go. Nice clean tank. We are gonna actually lube up this O-ring now, put it on the outside tank, put cartridge in. Actually, I need to clean one more thing. It's top manifold that I promised you guys in the beginning. So let me clean this bad boy off. Just remember, guys, your pool equipment's all waterproof or water resistant. This thing's meant to get rained on all day. So me doing this doesn't really hurt anything. Make sure you don't have to open electrical connections before you do this. All right, my top manifold is now clean. So now I'm gonna grab some gloves and lube up this O-ring. ePoolSupply, we recommend Magic Lube number 2. Very, 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 very recommended over here. It seals up these O-rings really well. We have it on our store. We have it in store and online. So yeah, use this when lubing up your O-rings. This stuff is not fun to get off of your hands or out of your clothes. That's why I have these rubber gloves. So if I have it off in here. Yep. So you're gonna put a good amount on there. Looks great. Kind of squish it up in your glove and just kind of massage it on the O-ring. It is nasty, nasty stuff, guys. So I recommend gloves before you do this. If you rub it on your clothes, you're probably gonna ruin your clothes. Just want to make sure you get the O-ring completely coated with the lube. So that way when the lid compresses down on here, it keeps this thing nice and lubed up for the season so it doesn't dry out and rot on you. But it also helps seal it up a little bit better too. So now I'm just going to put it on the outside of my tank. Like so. Boom. Time to put some cartridges in, guys. All right. Let's put these cartridges back in. So when I pick up my cartridge, there's these 4 pedestals on the bottom of here. It's overlay a picture that the cartridge sits on top. And so as you see inside the cartridge, the bazooka, it's a nice hole, and it just sits right on top of the pedestal. All right, first one's in. Let's get the rest in. So see how it kind of sits up? You want to kind of play with it until it drops onto its base. These cartridges are like 15 pounds lighter a piece after cleaning those things. Wild. All right, we're there. So that manifold can only go on one way. So I really like top fed manifolds like this. That way they're not gravity fed, because I believe this one's backwards from the traditional Clean and Clear Plus. Because when it's gravity fed, all the dirt likes to sit on the bottom of the filter. But when it's actually top fed like this, I feel like it distributes the dirt getting on the cartridges a little bit better. So that's how the XF works, I guess. That's exactly the line where it was before. That's wild. Okay, cool. Cool, cool. Don't forget my handy dandy spring. Sits right there. The cool part is my air relief. This is an internal air bleed. So you know how the top filter has that air bleed? This is the internal one. So realistically, turning the top one is kind of pointless in my personal opinion to let air out of the system when it'll naturally go into this screen up here. Food for thought. Breath filter. Oh. So what you want to do, slide your filter on. So remember, this thing turns, and you just want to turn this thing to wherever you want to tighten this thing down first. Turn this to wherever you want to view it. So let's make sure you guys do it. So let's put it right there, and then make sure to loosen it back up. And now we're going to put our clamp back on. All right, so I got my clamp. Let's put this thing back on the filter. So we're going to wrap the back first, and then as we see here, you're going to angle this together. Whoops, I'm trying to do this for you guys on the camera. Good. So as you see, I got a little nub sticking out the side here. I'm gonna want to grab my nut exactly the way. That's exciting that I had it. All right, so I'm gonna grab the nut exactly the way I had it, where the washer goes on first, and then it goes spring, and then it goes fat washer. So then that thing threads on just by hand. Only do it by hand right now, guys. Where that way it's a touch snug, to where the clamp doesn't fall off. Now I can turn my clamp however I want to tighten it, because I want to give myself room to get in there and tighten this thing up, and also to hit the back side of this. So what I want to show you is I'm going to tighten this thing, and I'm only going to tighten it halfway. And then I'm going to hit the back side of it with a hammer, because remember, this tension is only in the front. We want to actually enclose this back as well. So I'm going to tighten it halfway. Now I'm going to take a hammer, after Daniel hands me my hammer from my tool bag back there. You can use a rubber mallet, you can use a hammer. If you use a real hammer, just be careful. So I'm going to finish this down. Kind of helps seal everything up. Now, so what I want you guys to realize is there's a gap here on the back side of this. Take a picture of it before, take a picture of it after. I know there's people out there that say a credit card should go in there, and that's the distance. Not on this filter, guys. This filter is more like a 1/2 inch. But take a picture of it before, take a picture of it after, make sure it matches it properly. But right now, we're done cleaning this thing. Woo! We did it. So what we're going to do, I'll hop over the panel, turn the breakers on. I'm going to show you what happens when you turn it on. But I want you to make sure to tighten this thing, guys. Tighten this thing up right now. There's 2 ways you can do this. Tighten it up now, because remember, there's that internal air release, okay? Very, very important. I don't want to recommend you guys stand next to this filter and let the air out. Because if there's a valve turned the wrong way, there's videos all over TikTok and the internet of filters exploding, okay? I want you guys to turn the breakers on. I want you to stand back, probably at least 5 to 10 feet away from this filter. Let it prime up. Let the pressure build. If the pressure gets above 35, kill the breakers. If you don't see water flowing, kill the breakers. Something's wrong. But if you notice that your system's working great, if it's flowing, then go ahead, come over here, and I'll show you. Let a little air out. Put it back on. But you got to make sure that this thing is not building up pressure to explode in your face. Okay? It happens. It happens a lot. There's a lot of viral videos. Search it. Google it. Okay? Let's go through these breakers on. All right, guys. So, good thing I remembered. This plug has to go back on the side down here, or else water is going to flood everywhere. So let's put this plug back on. Remember what I said? Hand tight. So just give it a good snug. And then if it's still leaking, make sure we turn the system off. Give it another little snug, hand tight. And then we'll go from there. But right now, we're good. All right, guys. So if you remember in the beginning, I turned all the breakers off. So I'm going to turn them all back on now. And then what we're going to do is position the phone right here so you guys can see the pressure build up. And yeah, we're just going to rock and roll. And let's see what happens. So that's pretty wild, guys. The pump is like half as loud as it was, and the pressure is only at a 7. So cleaning that really just dropped everything, made it way more efficient. And on these Pentair ones, you see how it says start and clean filter? Those are adjustable. So there's no like factory setting. It's all about your system. Every total dynamic head of the plumbing is different. Everything you have on the system is different. So what you want to do is just turn this. That's my start. And that's where it says clean filter. But in my personal opinion, it usually never gets up that high. So, but you can just always start it off where you were. And if it gets maybe 5 pounds heavier, clean the filter. Doesn't hurt. You can never clean these too much, guys. Cool. This thing is rocking. All right, guys. Today, we clean this cartridge filter. This video will work on any cartridge filter out there that has a clamp and a 4 cartridge style system. Hayward, Jandy, Waterway, Pentair, whatever you want. So that way, get these things cleaned at least at least once a year like the manufacturer says. I recommend every 6 months, sometimes even more, depending on your surroundings. But yeah, today we clean this filter. I'm Jacob with ePoolSupply. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, thanks for checking out ePoolSupply's YouTube channel. Hit that like and subscribe button down below, and we got new content coming out every single week. Come visit us in store or online at ePoolSupply.com. Thank you.